Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I have here a massive repotting for you. If you enjoy repotting, that's the video. If you don't, skip it and I'll see you next time. What this repotting will be about. So I have here 3 intergeneric orchids, Oncidium intergeneric. I found 2 of them in a supermarket and 1 in a discounted section of a garden center. I'll talk to you a little bit about these 3 and then I'll start repotting them in no particular order and we can discuss a little bit what I found or maybe just some general talking about how to repot intergenerics. And they are not my favorite plants to repot. They take a while, the roots are very thin and usually they can grow thin roots everywhere, difficult to, especially when I have a massive root system, but let's see, hopefully I will make it short. Otherwise, bear in mind it can be a long video. Let's start with this one. That's a red, I love red flowers. I do have an intergeneric that produces large red flowers that I love so much. It's not in bloom at the moment. This one I think it has some Oncidium, its parents. I found some examples online. I have some suspicions, but I'm not sure what's the tag. I bought it in a supermarket. It was £6, but it has no name here, so I have no idea what is this. If you have this orchid, if you know its ID, please let me know. So that's the first one. It has 2 pseudobulbs, so I have to be careful. It doesn't have 3 yet. So if I manage to rot one of these, I may lose the plant. So I need to be very careful when I repot this one. But from the moment that I water these, the pseudobulb became completely plump. So I have live roots in here, and I know that for sure. Ideally, I should wait for the new growth to come, but I know that the flowers are almost gone, and I'm probably having new growth sprouting soon. So it's okay for me to offer a new mix now. But if I have 0 experience, wait for your plant to have something like this. That's a new growth that's sprouting. Then you repot your Oncidium. Okay? The next one is, I think it's like a Miltonidium of some sort. It has probably some Miltonia on its parents. I have no idea about its name either. If it is a registered hybrid, please let me know. What is that? The difference between them both is that this one has smaller pseudobulbs, and the pseudobulbs are a little bit thinner than that one, and the leaves are thinner as well, which lets me think that it's going to be probably a little bit more sensitive to dehydration than the other one. Another thing, it has many pseudobulbs, so very good point. Instead of having only 2 like that one, it has 6 or 7 pseudobulbs. So it is healthier plant. It's going to be easier for me to repot and to look after this one. It is a pink one. It produces tiny flowers and they have like a white border around the petals and sepals. Again, has no tag. I bought it at the supermarket for £6. And the third and the last one is my mystery one. It's very nice outside today, sorry. This one I was in a garden center, not in London, somewhere in England, and I noticed in a small garden center that it had in a shelf without any flowers, just sitting there and with this yellowish color to it. So the price was supposed to be £15.95. So I came to the owner of the garden center. I think he was the seller and the owner was a small place. And I asked for it. I said, look, that's really the price because it has no flowers. So he said, no, it needs to be repotted. He was really nice. He said, look, you need to repot this plant. You need to offer it to a new mix. And he sold it to me. I think I paid £4 for the plant. I was quite happy, although I have no idea what it is. One thing that we can do with these intergenerics is to look at the pseudobulb and compare it with others that you already have, and see if they are similar or not. For instance, I have one that has tiny red flowers that has similar pseudobulbs to this one. Could be the same one, but it could be a completely different one. We don't know yet. But I was very happy. I like to discover which flower it is. And if maybe I don't like the flowers later, I can gift someone with it. It's really rare, but it happens sometimes. But usually I love my flowers. But it's good because I can update you later on these plants. And this one has something, I know that the roots are alive because again, I watered and I noticed that the pseudobulbs are very plumpy and it has a new growth here. It has 3 pseudobulbs. However, it is yellow. And he was saying, oh, maybe you have to offer more light. I think it's the opposite. I don't think I need to offer more light. I think this is the case where it was in a very, very highlight spot, full of light from everywhere. And that's why it was become a little bit yellowish and it needs a little bit less light, not more light. That's my suspicion. But with adequate light and care, this plant will be very green soon. And I'm sure I will have a healthy Oncidium intergeneric, and we discovered what it is. These plants usually they don't take a while to bloom, to rebloom, and they are very easy. My environment helps. My environment is perfect to grow Oncidiums and intergenerics. That's why they are available. They are cheap, but also I have so many of them. The only problem, the only disadvantage, it's space. They are tall. They produce a ton of leaves. Anyway, I have many videos about these plants, about how to take good care of them. I'll link these videos down below. Today I'm not going to talk specific about care, but I will just report to them and explore what happened with this root system. So let's start. I will start with this massive one here. I think this one is one of the largest ones. I think these will become a very large plant soon. I'm not sure. Something that you have to keep in mind when you repot Oncidiums intergenerics is the fact that usually I have here my bark and my moss, but sorry about my blobbing. But usually these plants, they tend to have lots of snails on their mix. Oh, it's completely dark. Oh. Plants, they can have lots of snails. They are massive root producers. So as I've already mentioned, it's a little bit of a nightmare when we repot them. You need to spray the whole root system with snails. And I can see that the root system is healthy on this plant. It's very clear. I have root tips in here. And I have lots of roots that are alive. Although the guy told me that the stage of the orchid wasn't very good. But actually it was. It's better than I expected. I think I have lots of live roots. And maybe towards the center here, I have the plug. So on this plug, when you find cocoa husk or moss very close to the center of your orchid, that's the plug, is where your orchid was potted as a seedling. This one is to have the plug. I need to clean my table afterwards. So anyway, I'll keep doing that. That's the first thing that we do when we repot our orchids, right? Just removing the whole mix. Or everything that I can remove without going to the sink. Oh, there is a little animal here. Oh gosh, okay. Bye-bye, little one. It wasn't a snail. It's normal. I was in a nursery full, in a garden center full of plants. This one was in the middle of the plants. It would have some animals. It was an open space in the countryside. It's normal to have little insects in the middle of our mix sometimes. It's nature. So anyway, I will remove as much as I can, and then I'll go to the sink and I'm gonna wash that because I will do a big mess. And I think I'm gonna do that in a different order than what everything that I do. I never do that in a different order, but today I will. I don't know why. It is summer where you live. I'm enjoying summer. I know that we had some place that had horrible heat waves, but here in the UK this summer was very subtle. July was very rainy, and now that's August. The first half of the month was very rainy as well, but now we have some sunshine. But soon it's gonna be over. Autumn here starts very early, so probably in September we'll have some cool days already. It's like that every year, so I'm not expecting anything very much different from that. Anyway, sorry, just remove some old roots from the middle of the pot. But that's it. I hope you can see. So what I'm gonna do here is I will keep it around here, and I'm gonna, as I told you, I'm gonna do something different because I'm doing a big mess on my table. And since I'll have to clean, I don't want to clean that 3 times, I'm sorry. These videos, these repotting videos are the longest ones. So what I will do is, don't worry, this is all bad. Sorry about the mess, but I will clean afterwards. Let's go with the pink one now. I really hope that you are able to see all that. So I will remove the plastic sleeve. I wish, that's my plea for supermarkets. They don't watch these videos, but anyway, I honestly wish, let me put this here not to distract you too much. I honestly wish that these plants come without these plastic leaves. We don't need more plastic in the world, do we? I don't think we do. So anyway, let's now remove all these old flower spikes. I will keep the flowers, but I have a suspicion that it will go away soon. So it's potted in a very thin mix. Some cocoa peat, very thin, as you can see. I think this would be really nice for semi-terrestrial orchids, but for epiphytes, I wouldn't go with a mix that's that thin. It wouldn't work for me, but anyway, that's how they decide to pot it, right? Maybe when it was a seedling, look, that's the seedling plug here again. And, oh, I have 2 plants together. They are not connected or anything. These are 2 different plants. I'm finished removing. So it's not so full of pseudobulbs as I thought. It's basically 2 different plants. It's okay. Sometimes if you keep a very old mix, I suspect this one is very old, it's very compact as well. At some point it can become acid and can start to kill the root system or not be very healthy for your plant to be inside it anymore. I have more dead roots in here than on the other one. I think I have lots of roots here that are completely dead. Let me remove that. Oh, that's with the flower spike. I have to remove that anyway. So I have 2 plants, but I will pot them together so I have more chance to have more blooms when the second division becomes mature. You can, when this happens, if I have a close friend or if you want to give to someone, you can, or maybe sell when the roots have grown inside the pot. You can see, yeah, it's a new division. I don't know if they are the same plant though, because this one has, it's funny, the pseudobulbs are very small compared to the other one, but maybe this part is younger. I will keep them together, but that's my second plant. And then to complete our massive repotting, I will open this plastic lid again. Like we don't have enough plastic in the world, I have more plastic here. I can use that now to protect the table that's already dirty, so it doesn't make much sense. Oh, okay, this one I don't expect to have more than 1 plant in here since I have only 2 pseudobulbs, so hopefully they are from the same plant. But I have more live roots than I had on the other one. The other one was the worst case scenario, the pink one. My mixes are a little bit dry because, as I said, it's been hot the last day, so I just water some of these plants and they are dry again. This one, it's easier to remove than the other one. The other one was more attached to the root system. And again, very thin mix, very thin mix. Gonna be easy to water it though, because from the moment that I start rinsing it on the sink, this whole mix will go away. And I'm gonna be so happy because I don't think it's gonna be as hard. When we use lots of bark chips and chunky bark chips, Oncidiums, they are a nightmare. They attach their root system like nothing, and sometimes we have a massive ball of roots. I have an orange Oncidium that sometimes I like them, sometimes I hate it because honestly, it grows like nothing, and it is in a massive pot already and keep growing and growing and growing. The roots, they attach to everything around the mix. So there we go. I have my 3rd plant here. I will keep the flower spike, but I can cut it as well if in the end I see that I don't have much roots, like that's the case of that one, I will cut the flower spike off. What I have to do here with these 3 orchids separately, I'm not going to put them all of them in the sink together. I will clean one and then after one and then after one. It's not advisable to mix them because if one has some disease or pathogens, you can transmit to the other one. So every time I use my scissors or I clean them, I'll clean them separately. Just to show you all the 3 root systems. So now I'm going to clean the table and I'm going to clean the roots of all of them. I will remove carefully everything that's around this root system and I'll come back to show you how I repot all of this. So I have cleaned my root system, the root system of these 3 orchids, and they are in order here. What I have to do now is the same thing that I always tell you to do when you're repotting. Check the root system and cut the dead roots. When we have an orchid with so many roots like this one, it's going to be very difficult for you to find all of them, or you're going to take a while for you to do that. So what I will do here, I will simply come to the back bulb and I'm going to cut most of the roots that are coming from this back bulb, like so. I'm not going to keep looking for each and individual orchid of this back bulb because I know that this orchid is pushing out a new growth. The new growth will produce a brand new root system, and although this orchid may dehydrate a little bit and may feel a little bit, I am sure it will bounce back on time. As I said, I don't have many issues with intergeneric orchids. I think my climate's perfect for it. It grows very well here, and it's one of my biggest collection of orchids. It's Phalaenopsis and then intergenerics. They are very affordable where I live, in my region. So all of these is good. Oh gosh, there are some insects still here around the root system, but they will be gone soon because I will spray hydrogen peroxide. I don't think they will enjoy. I will keep cutting the roots of this orchid, everything that is dead, and I'm going to show you in the end how many roots I have left for each one of these. Just to let you know, I will sterilize my pair of scissors every time that I decide to cut the roots of my orchid or the other orchid. Why? Because some of these orchids, they may have some disease, and the disease can be shared between one orchid and another. And imagine if one of them has a virus. We don't want to share virus, do we? No, so I will sterilize my pair of scissors when I finish with this one before I cut the roots of the other one. And I will come to you when I'm done and I'm going to show you how is the root system and what's the next step. So with all of them, I will use the same things. I have here a pot. I use a smaller pot with the other 2, and with this one I use the larger pot. I will add a layer of moss at the bottom, as I do with most of my orchids anyway. And I have here my stick pesticide, Oncidiums, intergenerics, Newtonians and Newtoniopsis attract thrips and insects a lot. And these plants, they tend to enjoy their humidity, but I already live in a cold place, so I will just mix bark and moss evenly across the pot. And I will leave the oldest division here on near the edge of the pot, and I will give it some space to grow. I have a feeling that this will fill my pot very quickly. I think this orchid is one of these intergenerics that are a massive root producer, just to let you know. And the cool thing about this one, that I have no idea what it is, I will discover at some point in the near future. I will create a video when it produces a flower spike that we can try to guess what it is and what it's not. What's your favorite type of orchid? What's the one that you are the most successful with in terms of culture growing? I think our success with orchids and plants are to do with our environment. Although in my case, it's a home environment, I don't grow them outside. I don't have a garden. And even if I had, I couldn't grow tropical orchids because I live in a very cold country. So that wouldn't be possible. This one is potted. I'm gonna place it here. Very good. Well done. So now let's go to the second one. This one is the small one. I will pot it in the self-watering pot. This is one of these very cheap pots that you can find on Amazon. It's quite good. It's cheap, but it's good. I enjoy it. Just the that it has a layer and an outer layer. I will go with the smaller orchid that I have in there. I pot the two divisions together. This is the new part of the smaller division, and the new part of the bigger division doesn't have a new part yet. I will do the same thing, although it's a self-watering pot. I will add some, although I live indoors, so I need to center this one, okay? Because it has growing from both sides. I do have a very cool temperature inside my house at night, and I can commit to an intermediate temperature using heating system. But I believe if I was in a tropical country, for example, there are some places in Brazil, that's the tropical country that I know the best. Northeast of Brazil, for example, if you are not on the mountains, or you don't have exactly a cool down in temperature. So I don't think it would be easier to go Dendrobium nobilis and all sort of this type of orchids, or orchids that needs a cool down. At the same time, for example, for me that I'm here, Cattleyas grow okay for people here in the UK because we can offer some intermediate temperature in people that have some greenhouses or that have special conditions for it. Inside our homes, we need to use artificial lighting, or we need to have a very bright window. It's not for everyone, like big vandas, for example. If you don't have a big bright windows, I have a big bright window here, but if I didn't, I don't know how I would be able to manage my big vandas. So I do think environments, they do play a role, but you can try to mimic if you have the conditions for it. If you have resource, you can try to mimic other types of environment and try to grow them differently. But some orchids, they will be easier if you know where to grow them. So this one is also potted. Now let's go for the third and last one. I knew this video would be a long one. I'm sorry guys, but yeah, it's 3 orchids in a row, so there is no other way to do it. I bought quite a few orchids, more than I was expecting to buy lately. I didn't do any online order though. It's been a while that I don't do that. All of these orchids, I bought them locally. One of them I went to the supermarket in Wimbledon, to Morrison's. If you live in the UK, Morrison's was selling Oncidiums and intergenerics. That's where I bought the $6.99. The other one, as I said, was a garden center that I was nearby when I went to the beach. Very windy beach, by the way. Oh, that's another conversation, sorry. Very, like, not orchid, but why I will repot that. And I'm adding all this moss and bark. In the UK, I don't know if you know that, probably not. I love traveling. I don't need to do any fancy and expensive traveling in the sense of fancy hotels. I love an Airbnb, and I love visiting new places and having new experience more than anything. So I always research a lot about the places that I go to. I love reading blogs and Lonely Planet and all that. If I had the resource to, oh my gosh, I would have got to know this world. But unfortunately, it is expensive even when it's an Airbnb But that's not the point. The point is that I was talking about the UK. I'm not from the UK, so I was always very curious about getting to know places. Now I live here for many, many years, so I've managed to go to many places. The last place that we visited was Wales. And the beaches are wonderful. Oh my gosh, we went to the Pembrokeshire coast. You can Google it if you don't live in the UK. We saw dolphins, I saw seals. For the first time in my life, I've never seen seals before. So amazing experience, beautiful landscape, amazing for you to walk. But it's very windy and the weather is very unstable. It's spotted. That's why people don't talk much about the UK coast. Because again, the weather doesn't help if you're looking for some summer. But if you look for nature, and if you want to see beautiful landscapes, I think between spring and summer, there are some places here that you have beautiful coast. It's just the weather that's unpredictable, and maybe you won't have an experience like when we go to warmer places. But enough talking about that. Nobody want to know about the beautiful beaches. I have here my 3 orchids potted. Let me clean the table and I will come to conclude this video. Give me 2 seconds. Ta-da! Like magic, but not really. I have here my 3 orchids fully repotted. My 3 darling orchids. Before I do my conclusion, just to let you know, if you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to my channel. It does help a lot. Next week is my birthday. My husband said he has a surprise for me. I don't know what it is. So I'm not going to be here filming, but I'm trying to film as much as I can. So I have all the videos ready to go for you guys. So let's go and conclude this beautiful haul here. So I have the red one. I decided to keep the flowers a little bit longer. They don't have any fragrance, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. The root system was really good. I knew that it was good because from the moment that I watered it, the pseudobulbs plummeted straight away. This one has 2 divisions. I'm not sure if it's the same plant or not. I think so, maybe. One is the younger one, the smaller one. The other one is the bigger one. I potted them together. Hopefully I have a beautiful bush and full of flowers soon. This one is the largest of them 3. As I said, it's a little bit yellow, but I am confident that it will not be anymore. It will be ready soon. And I need to give these 3 a little bit of water because the mix is completely dry. Intergeneric loves their water, loves to be humid, and don't like to dry out completely in between watering. So you need to keep an eye on them. This one is on self-watering because I think this one is the one that has Miltonia on its parents. I think it's like some sort of Miltonidian or some hybrids, who knows. So I will keep an eye on it, and it's the one with the least amount of roots as well. More than that, if after you're repotting you notice the pseudobulb they shrinkle or they become wrinkled a little bit, that's normal. Some of the roots will suffer on the process of adapting to a new mix. It's very, very normal that orchids will become a little bit stressed when we repot them. But if you do that carefully, if you treat the roots carefully, we'll minimize that and have more chances to have healthier and mature plants soon. More than that, hopefully next time these beauties bloom, they will put a beautiful show because they will be healthier in a fresh new mix, completely cared and loved. So I will show you in my In Bloom series that I usually post it 2 months. And this one will go into the surprise. We don't know what is that, but we'll discover it soon as well. I hope you enjoyed this massive repotting. If you did, hit the like button and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.